Today because I have two amazing little energetic, newly enlightened beings. I have Kazim and I have Rob, and I'm very excited because I could feel Rob's new energy just popping up. You got tell us about the pinky ring.
Bro, this pinky ring gives me unlimited power of confidence and surefire wordsmithing. I'm just letting you know right now.
You're a new Patton Oswalt, a new
not.
wordsmith.
I'm better than Patton.
Oh, okay,
Look
yeah.
at his skin. Look at how I'm glowing, bro. All of it.
Wait,
Huge
Patton
glow up.
Oswalt had like a new enlightening? or something?
No, but I said he's like a wordsmith, so I'm like,
oh, okay.
yeah.
I thought you like because his wife died and stuff.
Wow.
But-
Wow,
Just
Kazim.
know, I'm
Put the
just
crystal
saying,
closer
I
to your
gotta hold the
heart. Put
crystal.
the crystal
I'll hold the
closer to
crystal.
your
My
heart.
bad. I'll hold the
Jesus.
crystal.
You
My
gotta-
bad.
Bro.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Okay. Go ahead. You
So
introduce
we
people.
have a non-believer, and that's Kazim.
That's very frustrating.
I
right
believe.
now.
No.
He-
Wait, no. Are you asking if I believe in crystals?
Do you believe in God?
Yes.
You do?
Yeah.
Did you grow
Ooh.
up like religious?
Technically, yeah, to an extent. I mean, define religiosity though, right?
Is
Is
that a
religiosity
word?
Yeah,
Did
a
you
yeah.
just
We
word?
went to the
make up a word?
yeah, we went to the mosque. We went to Friday prayers. So yeah,
What
is
is Friday?
religiosity a word? I don't know.
I don't think it's a word, bro.
It is?
No.
Wait, what's Friday
Yeah,
players?
regardless, it is though. Go ahead.
What is?
Inside argument.
Oh, yeah.
I hate when niggas get on cameras. I hate it so much.
Ooh, you're naughty. I'm gonna have to. I have a potion that I made.
Yes.
For both of you.
Bro, this looks like mud water. Dog.
Listen.
But I'm gonna take it.
This is made with rose water.
Rose water?
This is
Okay.
made with
Wait, what's rose water? I'm sorry.
rose water. It's kind of like a toner where it's like literally made with like I home make my rose water. I don't
Okay.
know if I said that part. So you take rose petals and then you like lightly like simmer them
Yes.
and you get all that like goodness.
Oh, it's
Roses?
like chicken broth.
Yeah, like chicken broth, but like
Okay.
Bro, I'm
rose
not
broth.
gonna lie. I hope one
Okay.
of us is allergic to what's in that bottle.
It just break out and swell up.
I'm not gonna lie. If my throat starts like closing up, keep recording.
Your throat's gonna open.
Do
It's
not
gonna open
stop.
your throat
Don't
chakra.
Stop recording. Do not stop
Okay.
recording.
We
We gotta do
got a-
everything for your show.
We
Go
got
ahead.
a little blue crystal, blue avitrine in here. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. That's good for communication and
Oh,
opening up.
okay.
Then I have cheer essential oil and joy and citrus, and that like gets your mood all happy and going. Then I have rose petals. I have thyme. I have another herb in there, but like all of it is just like
Okay.
good luck and like love and prosperity. So if you guys get anything in the next 4 years, that's because of my potion.
Okay.
Can I also? I just want to.
Oh, you giving a 4-year time
Yeah, 4
span for this.
years.
I
That's
just want
enough.
to. I just want to clarify also what that potion is like consistent to busting a nut. Because like right after you
Okay.
bust that nut, you're like, oh yeah, I'll do whatever you want.
Right.
You
Clarity.
open and you're very communicative. So
Do you want actually a good manifestation technique is after when you're about to come.
I swear to God,
Yeah,
you're
no.
about to a good busting a nut technique is
Yeah.
right
Well,
before.
because your energy is like super like concentrated and it's like you're all like aligned on like one thing and you are like exerting outwards. So the next time, try not to say it out loud unless the
I'm
chick is
gonna
cool.
do it.
But
Either way, I'm gonna do it.
Exerting outwards.
I say so much weird stuff during sex.
yeah, but when you're about to come or when you're coming, say I'm a success magnet and my life is full of
You
abundance.
think I'm not gonna say that shit?
I'm just gonna say
What
that.
is wrong
I'm gonna
with you?
look her in.
You were like,
I'm not
oh,
gonna
don't
break
say
eye
it-
contact.
Don't say it unless
I'm-
the girl's cool with that. I don't give a fuck who's cool with this.
And yeah, I'm a success magnet and my life is full of abundance.
Yeah, and now you're full of it too.
Yo,
You're welcome,
yo,
sweetheart.
that's a slow clap. That deserves a slow clap.
Yeah.
Can't believe- Oh my God!
I
You were
do it in
like,
my
don't
head.
Say, don't say it. Like make sure you have that talk first before.
Yeah.
Say you're a success magnet,
Magnet.
and my life is full of abundance.
Yeah.
And now it's in you too. Don't
And
forget that.
now you got it too.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
That's very important.
Hey,
It's
man.
good. Yeah.
Listen, and we got crystals.
And you have crystals. Now you've been on a little enlightened journey.
Bro.
So like what did you start doing? Did you start meditating?
So
like
what happened was quarantine happened. We
Mm-hmm.
shut down, and your boy watched little Bruce Lee. And like I heard that quote, "Be like water," and I was like, "Bro,
Be like
just
water.
be water." So then I just started doing like therapy and then like reading a lot of books.
Yeah. But how
And-
did you make, because a lot of people, if they're just operating their normal life,
Mm-hmm.
they don't just think about therapy. What were things that happened that you're like, I should go to therapy?
It wasn't. I mean, I've always like dabbled in the art of therapy or gone to it or done it. I
Yeah.
think for me, it was I didn't have an excuse anymore not
Right.
to. I didn't have an
Right.
excuse not to like go seek fulfillment and help and figure things out.
Right.
Once everything was stripped away, work, comedy, friends, like it was just myself.
Right.
So when you're stuck with yourself, you're like, oh fuck, I'm by myself. There's no one else here to dictate or push my mood. Why do I feel this way?
Right.
Because I haven't dealt with shit.
Right.
So it forced me to like sit back and be like, you can make the choice to like be happy. You
Right.
can make the choice to like find your own energy that's going to direct your path.
Yeah.
But if you're constantly going to work and you're constantly like trying to work on 3 sentences a night to make people laugh,
Yeah.
and then you're trying to keep up with your friends and like hang out with them, you're not paying attention to yourself and what your body's telling you.
Yeah.
So when you're sitting in quarantine and you're by yourself and your body's like, yo, this is the
I
time.
don't feel good,
I don't
or-
feel
yeah.
good. This is the time to deal with this stuff.
Yeah.
That's what I listen. You have to
Boom.
just sit and listen. Boom.
Boom. Boom.
Boom.
I
Hey,
that's
man.
Rob's new catchphrase. So everybody respect it. And if anybody's going around town, you stole it. You watch my podcast and you stole it. What about you, Kazim? Are you so like tell me about like what do you think about like crystals and like anything like in the new age, like spirituality, like
I like how you
realm?
call it New Age.
Wait, what does that mean?
No, it was just a no.
What does that mean?
It means nothing.
Am I
It
racist? What does it
no,
mean?
It's not a. You say New Age as in like it was like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
That's what
Okay.
it
I was like, you better
None
tell
of
me.
this
Is that
none of this is from like the Abrahamic faith. None of this is from Jordan. I'm just saying, like you're not gonna find. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Moses wasn't talking about crystals, but unless he was, you never know.
No, crystals and all this stuff like hermeticism and like magic and
Yeah.
enlightenment, like that's I mean Eastern, Taoism.
Yeah, well, there's magic. There's magic.
There is-
in
magic is
religion,
real.
Yeah, of
Magic
course.
is real.
I mean, it's not.
Ceremonial magic, it's
Ceremonial?
real.
Yo.
It's real. When I meditate, I
There's
see like
voodoo.
energy.
Voodoo's real.
Yeah, voodoo's
If you don't
really
believe
real.
in magic, you need to watch your boy David Blaine. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's not magic.
That's
He's not,
magic,
He's
though.
just the
That's
devil.
a guy who like yeah.
I think he's just. You don't swallow a
Yo.
frog and be like, "Oh, it's
Shout-
magic."
Yo,
Yeah.
shout out
That's
to
what
David
we're-
Blaine for changing my life.
Yeah. Serious.
David Blaine is someone who like got off drugs and he's like, well, I gotta do something. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
exactly.
It's like, well, it's
He
not.
has to.
Yo, did
not
you?
swallowing a frog.
Did anybody
Yo,
watch that
Joe Rogan,
hour-long special?
take this pic and just put it in my arm.
Oh.
Did anybody watch that hour-long special of him with the balloons and
No.
floating? Y'all need to watch that show.
On floating.
It was like it was too long. Like we get it. Like you watched
Yeah.
that movie Up, and you were like, "Oh, I want to do this for my
Oh,
daughter."
yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
all he kept saying over the radio is like, "I did this for you," and she's like, "Yeah, thanks, pops."
She's like, I
Yeah.
prefer you don't do magic.
Oh, by the way,
I
it's
have
not,
friends.
You're saying it like he has any emotion in his voice.
"Oh no, he does.
he's
He
like,
goes, I
Yeah.
did this all for you."
I did this for you.
Yeah, if my dad
gonna
was like
swallow a
doing
frog.
magic, I'd be
And
like,
you're like,
I
what?
want a social life. Like, you can't be doing this in front of my friends. Stop practicing your magic on us. So
What were we talking about?
Oh, so like,
I'm
what
gonna
is
hold
your
my crystal to my
about
chest.
crystals or about meditation?
I don't believe that there's power in crystals, but I'm not gonna sit here and judge
right.
if people need crystals to, feel better,
Right.
to feel calm, to feel sentient to an extent,
Right.
right? But I mean, I'm holding the crystal right now, and I'm like, this is a pretty cool crystal.
It feels
But that's
good.
it.
Yeah.
It's not like oh my God, I feel enlightened from.
What
you
about
know,
meditation?
did
What do you think of meditation?
Meditation is important. I'm trying to meditate.
Yeah.
It's not working. You try it, you're silent, and then your mind just goes off
Yeah.
into the thing. I'm trying breathing techniques. I usually try it now to go to sleep, not to necessarily
Right.
sit and meditate.
It will work
Yeah.
eventually, but like meditation is like this. When like are either of you live in the East Coast, right? Did you guys do winter in Texas? I feel like sometimes
No.
it's cold.
I'm used to wearing shorts in December.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, you
Yeah,
don't have to be a
gross. Somebody
show
wants
off
to see those
about it,
knees.
okay?
Yeah. I've only
Some
seen
of
snow
us
like
grew
4
up
times
with
in
like
my
7
lifetime.
feet of
serious?
snow.
Yeah.
It's miserable. You're not missing
Wow.
anything.
Yeah.
Oh no!
it's-
One time I was side note. I was staffed in like not Vermont for like 4 months one time.
Yeah.
And it was snowing.
Why
It was
don't I
awful.
know this?
This was a long time ago.
Like,
This is before comedy. I used to work for Keurig.
For Keurig, the coffee
Yeah.
company?
Yeah.
Well, doing what?
I did just IT stuff.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
was like, did you go harvest like the
Oh, no.
coffee, like
No,
in
no,
Vermont?
no. The company was called Green Mountain Coffee Roasters,
Gotcha.
and they own Keurig. And I was working in Vermont, Boston, and Montreal.
Okay, so you've been in winter.
Yeah, I've been in winter.
Yeah.
But
also around a lot of white
I
people.
just didn't.
That's all what he just said
So
right
many
Hello.
white people.
Especially in
Yeah.
Vermont.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh
Their
my
basic
God.
flavor is bland.
No, Ben and Jerry's. It was Burlington. So
Oh,
that's where Ben and Jerry's is
yeah.
from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so like if you know how like in winter you got to like start your car before before you get into it during winter
Yeah.
'cause it needs to like warm up and it's like bad for the engine. That's basically like what meditation is. So like every day, like in the morning when you meditate, you're kind of just like starting your like mind and your body up like in the most like safe space to where you are getting yourself to, you're basically calming your brain waves down. So like naturally, you know how you're saying all the time, you're like, yeah, like my brain just keeps going. That takes time. It's the same thing. You're not going to start stand-up comedy and be a headliner in 2 years. It's the same thing with meditation. It takes time, but naturally you
Could you
start
repeat
to
that for the LA comics, please? 'Cause for some reason,
I was gonna be so
some-
petty just now.
for some
you can't be
reason-
coming in 2 years unless your name is.
Unless,
I mean,
unless
for some
mommy and
reason-
daddy are
for some reason, people like pick up like a guitar or ukulele and go, never mind. Anyway,
a ukulele.
Well, ukuleles are easy to play though.
yeah, but that doesn't mean you're a headliner. You know what I'm saying?
Hey man, listen.
And like with 3 people in the crowd, you're definitely not a headliner.
Right.
Sorry, that was another.
I don't know a comic who plays a ukulele, but I'm interested.
Trust
I'm
me.
just here clutching my crystals.
You won't be.
So
You won't be.
listen.
But so basically, meditation just helps you. So it's like you get your brain frequencies because like you ever watch. Well, hopefully you don't have to get an EKG done. You know how there's like that like electromagnetic like current. So like our body actually does like hold electricity. We have like frequencies.
Yeah.
So your brain naturally has that. And when your shit is like all like out of order, it just means that the rest of your body like isn't in like perfect alignment. So if your brain is spending so much time like in anxiety or depression or stress, it starts sending all these hormones to like battle that your body's not then sending the right hormones to do like the proper things that it should be doing, like
Yeah.
processing information.
I just want to call
Yeah.
time out real quick. I've never thought Monterey is dumb, but I also didn't think she was like that smart. You know what I'm saying?
This
like,
enlightened?
not enlightened.
No,
I knew
you
she
know
was
I'm enlightened.
I knew she was
Yeah.
enlightened. I just didn't
Yeah.
think she could use big words like EKG.
EKG is not a big
abbreviation?
word.
But you get what I'm saying? Like she started going through like
Oh,
medical
no,
terms.
you didn't
And I
think-
was like,
okay,
oh
yeah.
wait, Monterey does know
Yeah,
this.
people. Well, intelligence is just relative to what
Yeah, yeah,
information
yeah.
you have about
People
a certain
think he
subject.
thinks I'm
Exactly.
crazy. That's
Right?
why, because like he just sees my
100%.
craziness
So,
all the time.
you know,
Well, yeah, no. People
when
think
she's-
I'm smarter than I actually am. It's
It's
hilarious.
because you're calm.
Kazim,
It's 'cause I
know,
try to stay
here's
calm
the
as
thing.
well.
Kazim, I know
Yeah.
you're smart, but you're
I'm
also,
intelligent to.
But
I
you
like
also
a
do
lot
IT,
of information.
So I'm
Yes.
like, I was
yeah,
like, he's gotta be
but
smart.
Yeah.
I'm smart. Is my IT job? I'm just sending emails.
Don't
most
fucking.
Of the time.
Oh, I keep telling
yeah,
you, don't
don't
say this stuff.
downplay.
No,
Don't
it's not.
downplay.
He can downplay it because he doesn't do jack shit. But also,
I work
don't-
very hard.
I don't think he should be like broadcasting it. You know what I'm saying? Like keep it on the low. He is very smart.
Oh no,
Yeah,
I'm still
he's
good at
smart.
my job.
He's good at it, but he hasn't
Yeah.
really done
Right?
anything.
Right.
But you know, that's all the information I can
Okay. Yeah,
give.
yeah.
I can't tell you who I work for. I'll tell you who I work for after the fact.
Wait, I feel like you've already told me who you worked for, unless it's a new job.
No, it's the same job.
the same
Wait, did I
Okay.
tell you who I worked for?
Maybe you didn't. So
Maybe
we're
I
not
didn't.
friends
Don't say
then. So you don't
No.
respect me. Oh, it's because I'm a
Wait, when
woman.
is this- when is this
oh,
This
coming
is what I'm
out?
talking
I'm
about. This is the
white?
part I was talking about, like
Half
that
white? Go
overshadows
ahead.
her smartness. Like
She's still a
that.
she's still a comedian.
Yeah, I'm still a sassy
Yeah.
cunt.
So
you
here's
know?
the thing, people confuse like I think comedians are the smartest people on the planet.
Yeah.
I think comedians, people that are like true at the craft, write, think, philosophize,
Right.
I think they're geniuses.
Yeah.
Even the ones that are like Bill Burr, who's like, "Oh, I'm stupid." He's still very smart.
Yeah, it's a psychological type of intelligence
Yes.
because you're taking like abstract ideas and thoughts, and then you're getting everybody to comprehend like your
Yes.
whole like system of thinking. Then you're persuading people to get them like on board, but then you're also like problem solving, and then at the same time you're able to like put things and people and life and everything into
Right.
categories to like make sense and make
All in 5 minutes.
metaphors.
Also,
Yeah.
I also
Yeah.
want to point out, notice how I said comedians. I wasn't talking about you assholes that are like at mics, only at mics.
I'm hoping
just-
I hope my podcast has a lot of normal people watching. So
I hope so too.
Yeah.
I just want to make it like for those normal people watching, if they choose to be like a stand-up comedian one day,
Yeah.
know that it consists of more than just like sitting at a mic with your friends.
wouldn't-
Right.
I wouldn't say the comedian's most intelligent person in the room. I will say the comedian's the most aware person.
Yeah.
in the
Okay.
room.
Self-aware, present.
Self-aware, present of everything.
But
that's
that does
going
take
on.
an intelligence
But
too.
that
There's
does take a
different
level
types
of
of intelligence.
and different types of intelligence. That's
Yeah.
why intelligence technically is relevant. I know so many doctors
smart,
that
yeah.
are dumb.
Oh, for
like
sure.
like we've all met them. Like
Yeah.
they couldn't like tie their own shoe if
Right.
they tried. And they're doctors. But
Yeah.
if you put them in front of like, you know, a patient that's about to die, you're like, hey, let me do an EKG, call
Yeah.
back. What's up? You know what I do? Hold these crystals.
Bro,
No.
I low-key said I'm surprised that she used big words like EKG.
EKG. I was like, that's
You
an
did say that.
abbreviation.
You did say that. You did say that.
It's
You're a horrible
funny as
person.
fuck.
You're a horrible person.
I love it.
Yeah, but the question I have a lot of times is, so many times when you talk to like, how do I say this? Because you don't want to call them religious people. People that have religion in their lives, a lot of times not a lot of times, some of the times.
They're poor. Yeah.
Sometimes they're broke as
Yeah.
fuck. And you're like, whoa, the church can't help you out? No, anyway, the pastor got a helicopter. How come you don't have no
Right.
helicopter? Anyway,
Or
my
like,
bad,
why
I'm
don't we
sorry.
let homeless people sleep in churches at night? I'm like, aren't you? Isn't that weird? No.
I don't know.
Speak on that.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah. Yeah. Well, no, in our, now I'm thinking about in our mosque, we had some people sleep there
Yeah.
that just were down on their luck. Yeah, we
Right.
had people sleep there. But, I mean, we don't have like chairs. It's just carpet.
Well, it's better than
Yeah.
cement, you know.
Yeah, it's better than cement.
Yeah.
And outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
But what were you saying? So people that are religious, like you think it's like
Sometimes
a
they
dependency?
don't. Sometimes they don't see therapy as a thing to do,
Hmm.
right? So a lot of times, you know, and this goes for a lot of religions, right?
Right.
They'll say, "Oh, I need therapy," and you're like, "Oh, you should just go pray." And I'm like, "Well,
Yeah.
that's not the same thing,
Right.
Right? There's prayer,
Yep.
there's meditation, which is in religion,
Yeah.
right?
And
'Cause
those are two
prayer's
different things. Yeah.
totally two different things. Hold
Yeah.
on one second. Go ahead, Rob.
Shout out to those black people in the South.
I didn't want to say anything.
I love
But it's
that
not-
he like couldn't
is-
hold it in.
is amongst. Well, no, I think it's black people, Africans, Desis, like Arabs and
Mm-hmm.
Indians and Pakistanis, and then honestly, the only people that like are okay with therapy are like people that are like Buddhist or something like that,
Right.
right?
I used to not be
I mean,
okay
who
with
believes
therapy
in Buddha,
either.
huh?
I didn't start going till this year, and that's because the guy I was dating had to lock me in a closet and be like, "Hey, you need to calm down," because should I not have said that?
I'm sorry, my chest started to hurt when you said that. I was like,
He
please
had
tell
to.
me this gets better.
He had to. He had to. Listen,
But yeah, I mean, I
sometimes-
wasn't like fighting
Yeah.
him or anything, but he was just like, because like when like I get really like hurt or emotional, I'll be like, you just need to leave. You just need to leave. And he's like, no, you have to like process information. Like you can't like process things when you're hurt. And I'm like, oh, because I'm a control freak. Because when I didn't have control, like I got hurt when I was like younger, so like now I don't know how to be out of control, that I just kind of like lash out. And he was like, yeah, like you should talk about this. He's like, how have you like done and seen all the things that you lived through? And you're like, I don't need therapy, because I was so like independent. I'd lived on my own since I was 17, so I felt like if I went to therapy, it took away from like me being strong or like me being independent. I'm like, I want to be able to be like, I did all this by myself. And it's like, but then you're lashing out at your lover because
Yeah.
they're
This
you
is
know.
this is the premise to 8 Mile too.
We're
by the
showing-
way. I just want to let everybody know out there.
I didn't even know that.
Monowave's working on.
I
the
literally grew
sequel
up
to
like 8 Mile. Yeah, no, absolutely. Except for I can't rap, and I'm so mad about it. I'm like, how? And people don't think that I grew up like Eminem because I'm cute, and I'm like, no,
Okay.
I was fucking beat and shit too. God,
Hey man, listen, I'm just gonna hold these crystals.
I think I'm gonna start reading one of your. Who wants to go first?
Let me go first.
Yeah.
Because I love this.
But as you're doing that, I think
This
that's
is-
a good point that you made,
right.
right? Where it's like a lot of times people think that therapy makes them weak. It just doesn't. It makes you human. It doesn't make you
Oh.
weak.
Dog.
I swear to
dropping
God.
crystals,
Listen.
dropping cards.
It's so okay. I'm gonna tell you real quick though, but how I do shuffle. I like to
Yes.
make the cards. It's called making the cards jump. I made that
Yeah.
up, but
Did you work at a casino? Did you work at a casino?
I did work at a casino, but not.
Okay.
I worked as a cocktail server
I was
in
about
a
to say,
bunny
sure.
costume.
Sad at the
Okay.
casino.
Yeah.
How much
How
money
did
I would have
you-
made off of
how
her?
do you
Oh
not
my
know how to
god.
shuffle?
No, I do know how to shuffle like proper but you can't shuffle tarot cards the same. So what I do is I make the cards jump. So what that means is
That
so
she
like
made up. I just want
that
to
I
repeat.
made up,
She
mhm.
said she made that up.
because so you like I'll show you in a second. So whatever card like pops out, that card wants to come out.
Oh,
They got a
okay.
secret for
you.
you.
Just rely on the universe.
I rely on the universe
to
to
let
tell
the
me who
cards
wants
do
to
its
come
work.
out.
Okay.
Who wants to come out, boys? And sometimes I say that.
gonna die.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, little boys. Who wants to come out?
We're
So what
gonna
did
die.
Am I
where did
annoying?
tarot come from? Did
Tarot came from it came in France, and so they used to during like I want to say like the Renaissance era, and so they used to do it with like actual like playing deck cards,
Okay.
like regular tarot deck cards, and it was like kind of just like a fun activity. But then this guy, see how that one jumped out?
I don't like that. I don't
He's
like
got
that
a
at all.
secret for you. So they used to just like do it as like a activity, and then the guy Raid, Raide is his last name. I forget. I want to say it's like Alan Raid. Someone's gonna yell at me for not knowing that. But it's the name of the deck of the cards, and it's like the most like
Okay.
common like deck. And so he was the one who like actually like took it over from just like regular playing card decks to this
actually
and
create something that can be used?
yeah, and so like this
Okay.
is what I always tell people. So tarot cards, some people read tarot cards and it's strictly just fun, like entertainment. But so I forgot to tell you guys this part. I talk to spirits.
Monterey, okay, first off,
I like how
don't
she
be
said.
leaving shit out. You don't leave
No,
stuff
but-
out. Cards are like, she's
Also,
calling it
she's-
card jumping.
Yeah.
She's like literally horrible at shuffling cards. She's
No,
like,
this is
oh,
how
this is
they
a technique
jump.
that I created.
Oh, by the way,
This is how they
pause.
jump.
I talk to spirits.
Yeah,
By the way,
I do.
The
So
spirits talk to me.
boom, see how that one?
Okay, so tarot cards, like crystals and like horoscopes, are they all like connected?
Yeah, they're all divinity tools.
Is it all connected or is it all like
They're not all
separate?
connected. No. So
Oh.
crystals, this is what I'll say about crystals. So crystals existed before people put like spiritual, meaning behind it. So crystals, I think
they're
it's called
stalactites and stalagmites. I wish I had
it's
glasses.
just, yeah. But I think it's called endothermic. So it basically means like they transfer energy. Like if you were to hold like light to it, it heats
Yeah.
up. And if you hold heat to it, it can create light.
Yeah.
So we are all made of like molecules and it's atoms. When in the most subatomic like world, like we're just like little atoms like bouncing around, right? So when we go through stress or when we go through like fight or flight or we go through like any like kind of like chaos like from like the world, our atoms start to act chaotic. So they like kind of like get out of like sync and they get out of balance. So crystals people use to like help to actually just get your atoms just like back in like a good like rhythm like flow.
And
That's
here
Yeah.
I was thinking I was the lucky sperm that
And
survived.
that could be yeah, and I believe in science. If it's scientific.
yeah,
then
I
it's
believe
cool.
in science. Yeah,
That's cool.
I believe in you fucking nerd.
I believe in science. But yeah, so it's like
I
there's
like
a,
how Rob said in the beginning of the podcast, I'm so enlightened.
So he's
and
like,
he
"You
has shit on
fucking
almost
loser."
everybody mentioned today.
Yes. But it's true. So there is a lot of, I think the reason why a lot of people like spirituality and all that stuff gets like a bad rep, it's because of how everything's a language. Like comics speak in a certain language, a lawyer speaks in a certain language, spiritual people speak in a certain language. So when they're talking and they're like, you need to open up your heart chakra and then this way it transfers your energy and you transcend and you become your higher self. Comics are like, what the fuck did you just say? So you need someone to almost like translate and speak in the same language as you do, where you're like, okay, this is what it does. So tarot cards, basically, if you are a tarot like reader, some people like aren't intuitive. It just kind of like gives you like a platform and you start like, you kind of like just start storytelling. And then if it resonates with someone, you're like, okay, cool. But if you're intuitive, like mama,
I want to get to the spooky shit. I want to get to it.
if you're spiritual, like, if you have intuition. So basically I have two spirit guides, and they're Boris and Galinda. And so Boris has like, he's very brother energy. He's very much like, so like you, and he like makes fun of me all the time. So, and then Galinda's like very like loving and like nurturing. So like they'll just say things. So like when I flip the tarot cards over, even if like some people will just interpret exactly what the tarot cards, like what they like represent. They'll start saying things to me. They're like, tell him this, like tell him that, like see how this horse is like that, say that. So I don't care if people don't believe me, and I never used to like tell comics any of this stuff because I would get like embarrassed. I had thought like people would be like, okay, like you're so fucking lame, blah blah.
It's not
like,
lame.
I'm sorry, God talks to me.
But also,
I'm
we
sorry.
know comics that like have legit OD'd, so I think we're good. I think you're good on your tarot cards.
Yeah, I think you're fine.
I'd rather you be on tarot cards than cocaine.
Yeah, exactly. Then in the hospital.
Yeah.
Then it's fine. Don't worry about that.
Yeah,
But also,
or-
I see what you're saying, because like in Islam, there's dream interpretation, right? There's people that can interpret. Like there are sayings that like, you know, if your dream is during this time of the night, then you should probably write it down or something like that.
Right.
I'm probably wrong when I say that as to when it is, but I do know there's like dream interpretation.
This is my second time having this done, by the way.
A tarot card thing?
Yeah.
And
So-
these are fairy realm cards, and fairies fuck with me. I don't know why. Fairies and like elves like love me, and so whenever I have like fairy,
I'm not looking at Rob, but I'm pretty sure we have the same face. Pretty sure.
And-
I'm pretty sure we're making the same exact.
yeah,
So-
Same
fairies
exact
are
face.
real.
So, okay, here's the crazy
Yes.
thing. Before this happens,
Yes.
it was right after college.
This is so weird because Michael D'Angelo pulled both these two cards too last time. Okay, anyway, but keep going.
It was
Shout out to
right after
him.
college.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you know, when you graduate college, especially because we were like coming out of recession when I graduated, and you couldn't find it.
2011.
Yeah, you couldn't
Yeah.
find a job, and like I was like good. I was good at what I was doing, and I was
Right.
like very fearful that I just spent all this time and like wasn't gonna be able to do anything with it. So I'm in my hometown and I'm walking past this shop, and there's this old like hobbit lady sitting outside, and it's like in front of a psychic store.
Could have said just old lady.
I could
Go
have,
ahead.
but she was very hobbit, like
Yes.
big ass hands. Anyway,
Harry?
so huh?
Harry?
Her
Or just
arms were-
like,
her forearms
were they just like weird?
they were
just,
weird,
like,
but they were just like grippy.
Yeah.
Like she had like a gorilla
yeah.
grip.
Like,
it was-
did she hold your hand a little longer than needed?
Yes.
There we go.
So I'm walking past, and she's like, "You should come inside." And I'm like, "Nah, lady, I don't know you like that." And she's like, "Listen, you're either going to take that money that's in your pocket and go spend it on the shoes that you know you're only going to wear once or twice, or you can come in
Wow.
here."
She was profiling you.
What's upsetting is I was walking past to go to the mall to go purchase shoes.
Just because the profile was correct doesn't mean that she isn't an asshole.
Maybe
It's very
not.
different.
But
But yeah, go ahead.
$50 later, this bitch was reading my hand.
Yep.
Was telling me like you're about to get a job offer in 2 weeks.
Ooh.
And like you're gonna get to this job. Some people aren't gonna fuck with you. Your energy is gonna be different than theirs,
Right.
and you're gonna bring something to the table that they don't offer. And you're gonna go through these transformations. And then she started talking about like this one girl that I was smashing while lying to another girl who I was also smashing. And she's like, "You're gonna have to make a choice because the one girl that you're smashing isn't bringing you joy." And I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
All that shit came true. So I'm just letting you know.
Yeah.
I'm very susceptible to this. So tell your fucking ego and id or whatever their fucking names are.
No, guy. No.
Take it easy,
No,
bro.
It's a guy and
I'm-
a girl. Go ahead.
Guy
No.
and a girl.
You're a guy and a girl. Ego and id.
Oh, Galinda and Porus, you mean?
Yeah.
They're very helpful. Like they
Okay.
give good advice. Like they don't
Cool,
how
cool.
they talk to me. Like they don't ever like. I've never like talked because sometimes like it'll happen when I'm talking to somebody. Like I don't even need tarot. Like it'll happen, and that's why people always say like I'm really good at giving advice. It's like because they're helping me.
Oh, all right. All right, cool.
But so like they always give advice. Like they're not like in 3 years you're gonna do this. It's usually not a thing
No.
like that. It's like
Ask
healing
them
and helpful.
How long my glow up's gonna be? I just wanna,
Your glow up is as long as you want it to be.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously,
it's a
but,
state
like,
of life.
This
state of life.
Look
Yeah.
at- I hope I'm framed up there looking cute, but like I'm just saying.
I
Let's talk
love
to
you
these
so
people and
much.
Find out.
Okay, so one
I
of
can't
their
grow that hair. I can't. I got to do the baldy with the beard. So
not everybody can pull off every look. Everybody's got to be their own thing.
I know.
So the messages that they started saying right away was the first thing is that
I'm starting to sweat.
they're like they just kept saying the word finally. So they're like, finally. I feel like this is something that like they've been wanting you to like live in this space like for like a long time. And they're like,
Boom.
they both were like, finally, like he's like on this page. And they're saying like, take it easy with yourself still, because just because like, you know, when we first, it's kind of like when you go to high school for the first time or you go to college. I didn't go to college. Sorry. Because they just gave me that example and I'm like, oh, you want to bring up I didn't go to college? I fight with my spirits.
Yeah,
anyway,
okay. You didn't miss anything in college.
Everybody says that, but I'm jealous. But so they're saying like it's kind of like you are stepping into this like new platform, but they're saying don't get overwhelmed, because there's still going to be like times and like moments where you're going to like maybe go through like a phase where it's like you'll have a little bit of sadness, or you'll have frustration, or you'll have stress. So they're saying like every day and every moment is like going to be a new like learning of like this kind of lifestyle, and be patient with yourself. Like if you have a moment where you like slip up or like have like a relapse and like you freak out on somebody, they're like, don't, be nice to yourself. This is like a whole new like way of like living, and you're planting like a bunch of seeds, and like it also like takes time for it to like manifest. And they're also saying that you have like a lot of, I don't know if it's right now or it's coming up because it's in the like near now to near future section, but you're gonna have a lot of things coming at you, like opportunities, like, but
I like how when you said opportunities, he was like, bitches. That's exactly what he thought.
Well, it's showing work opportunities. It doesn't say bitches.
Oh, we gonna put it that work
for clarity. You're so stupid.
Oh God. I'm so sorry. Go ahead. Now I'm nervous for me.
But you're gonna have a lot of opportunities coming up, but they're saying that like it's gonna be a little bit slow in the beginning, but they're saying like just know that like it is coming, and as soon as you start acting impatient or as soon as you start acting demanding, they're saying that's when you gotta go back to like, hey, I'm in this new state of mind. I gotta like learn to. They just said, don't go back on your spirituality when everything's not always working like the way, you know what I mean? When if you're like, I'm not manifesting because you're meditating, you're doing all this stuff, and you're like, it's not working. They're saying, don't doubt it. You have to like just keep putting in time. It's like being a stand-up comic. You're not going to be a headliner and be this master like enlightened person and just be manifesting everything, and everything's just going to go so smooth and you're just going to get all this money. It's not. It's a build, but they're saying there are opportunities and things that are going to come. And so just know that you have to also be able to, you're not going to be able to take everything. So you're going to get overwhelmed. You're like, I have to do this. You can't do everything. You have to be very discerning when all this stuff comes to you, because what is that saying? Not everything that shines is gold.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Not everything that glitters is gold.
Not everything that glitters is gold.
So they're saying, so it's like you're going to get excited. This and this and this and this is going to pop up. And they're like, and you're going to be really excited. So just take your time with it and be like, what are the 3 best projects? Because you're going to be like, I'm going to do this podcast. I'm going to do this show. I'm doing this tour. I'm doing this sketch thing. I'm doing my workout. They're like, whew, do one thing at a time. They're also saying that, you're in this like new like maturity section like of your life, where it's like you used to have like this like youthful like just kind of like a youthful like reaction to things, like if like emotional capacity, like youthful. So like say if somebody said something to you like, I didn't do that, you did that, it's kind of like a reaction like that. But now they're like, oh, he's like maturing and he's like processing information newly. And when that's happening, they're saying, my stomach's growling. They're saying like the more that happens, like you're going to present yourself with more and more opportunities. So they're saying like the more better you are, the more better we'll give you. So they're like, and then they also just said, they just said like, finally, like if there's been like chaos in your life or just like a phase in your life, like the last 7 years, they're like, hey, that phase is done. It doesn't mean like everything right away is going to be glitter and like, you know, happiness and whatever. But they're like, you have now became into this like new man. And so now like you are going to have a new life that like matches like with it. And this is funny because I know D'Angelo pulled happily ever after because I was giving him shit. I was like, you don't deserve it.
Baby?
But honoring your true feelings and no, he pulled exactly these two, which is hilarious. So honoring your true feelings and happily ever after. So honoring your true feelings also means too, it's saying like, you have to like trust yourself. So like if you have ideas and say you're like, yeah, but nobody's doing this or like no comics have done this before, great. Then be the first person to do it. Like trust your instincts and trust your intuition, especially when it comes to your art, because it's like that, you know, your art and like your ideas is like the language like of God. So like God giving you an idea or God giving you like that's him like speaking to you. Like that's why so many artists will be like, I don't know, I just came up with it. It was just like an idea and I wrote the whole book in one night. And you're like, what? It's because it's like it's coming from, you're like, well, I don't know where it came from, but it's God, bitch. It's God.
I agree.
And then your
Wait,
last.
who's talking right now? Is that the crystals or the fairies?
This is the fairies talking now.
Sorry.
And so happily ever after, this basically symbolizes like, hey, like this your life is like going to start to be like in like harmony, like your lifestyle and like how you handle problems, how you cuz externally in the world there's always going to be issues. There's always going to be everything, but it's your perception on how you like handle and how you like receive it. So it's like someone can dump you or somebody can fire you, and if you're like, oh, I got fired, fuck these, you're not living in harmony. You have to find like what is the good thing that's coming out of this? What if they're saying like, if you treat every single thing like it is a blessing, even if it's a divorce, even if it's whatever, they're like, we will constantly take care of you. And that's just like, that's like a lifestyle of like, just like learning how to live in that is like hard. But if you can maintain it, then you're going to be groovy.
Look at this.
Great.
You're going to be groovy,
That was
boy.
They get a little shoulder shrug out of
Yeah.
me right now.
No, but that was...
That was good.
Yeah, they're...
Now I'm nervous.
Bro,
Now I'm nervous.
I'm like,
tell
you...
just let it happen.
I'm gonna hold these.
They're gonna... Sometimes they tell me secrets. So if like you killed somebody or you owe somebody money, they're gonna know. Kazim, they're gonna know. Spray yourself out. What are you guys...
The crystal got caught in the pump, so it wasn't like squirting.
What are you guys both working on while I'm shuffling? Tell Rob, you go first. So like what have you been working on in quarantine? Like, are you trying to do a podcast? Are you...
So I have a podcast with my homie Luke Schwartz. It's called
nice.
2 Movies and a Podcast,
Okay.
where we watch 2 movies and then essentially argue over which one's better. Mm-hmm. And we switch the rules up.
You
every
two are
week.
both argumentative people, so
Yes.
it makes so much sense.
So it's pretty cool. It's I will say with my transformation and how Luke goes about his arguments now, I can see how I was annoying before to argue with, because now I'm like looking at it and like, oh yeah, I don't care that much. Like my opinion is my opinion. I don't really think it's gonna change.
Right.
So like to have like Luke who's like, no, but like blah blah blah, and I'm like, no, that movie still sucks.
Right.
So it's fun. It's definitely fun. It's a different take. And we're figuring it out. We're like pulling it apart and figuring it out. And I'm just constantly writing jokes, constantly writing ideas down, and then just making sure. The most important thing I think out of the creative space that I'm not working on is my connection with my friends and the people that are in my life. Just because now that I have this time to myself and I'm not bombarded with 20 million things to do, I'm realizing the thing that is most important to me is my friendships and my family. So I've been boom. I've been making sure I'm either calling, texting, hanging out, dinner, something, anything, just to keep that connection going.
Hell yeah.
So
what about you, Kazim?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Same, just writing a lot.
What about like your podcast?
Yeah.
Like any...
Podcast, Tough Choice with Kazim Rahman. Check it out wherever you find podcasts. Writing scripts, really trying to just, make plans. Texting a lot. I've texted so much. Texted more than I'm willing to let people. And a lot of times it's just like, you good? Family good? And then we just start a conversation. Yeah. Right? So it's a weird time. It's a weird time to, and then you really realize not only you realize that there are some things you just gotta let go, right? Because some things just aren't worth it.
Yeah.
And then you start to have more, if you do this correctly, you have more empathy when people are going through things, because we're all going through this, right?
Absolutely.
So I'm not getting angry if, someone hasn't called me in forever, because it's like, yo, we all just trying to not die. Like it's not even that serious.
Right.
Now I'm nervous. Right?
No, don't be nervous.
I do want to add to
My heart
that
rate's at
because
90. Go ahead.
we would text each other before all this happened all the time.
Yeah.
I think what I do like is like when this first started, you and I like had phone conversations.
Yeah.
That was different. And so that's what I'm saying. I've been trying to carry that on through as many people as possible.
Right. No, it's important. Like human like connection, we like forget 'cause we just get so like caught up in like our desires and our goals. Like that's just naturally going to be people's priorities. But you're like, oh, like human connection and like actually having great stimulating conversation and like relating to people and being able to express things that we're all going through. You're like, it's such a nice feeling, especially with comics, when you're like, how do you deal with like a comic being rude to you at a show for no reason? Or like, how do you deal with some whore who says she's a feminist but then is a cunt to you every time she sees you?
Speak on it.
Hey man, I'm just holding these crystals. So
I don't know why I'm getting nervous for you.
I don't know.
I'm getting so nervous.
No.
It's at 80 now. Go ahead. I'm supposed to have a resting heart rate of like 62, but
Okay.
now it's at 80. All right.
Yours is
Why are the fairy ones so black?
I don't.
Yours were like bright and happy.
Hold on. What is mine at right now?
Well,
I'm at 74. I'm normally at 66. I'm nervous.
Or maybe you guys are excited.
I think I'm excited, but I'm also nervous.
I'm nervous.
I'm nervous because he's nervous.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, there's nothing to be nervous about. So,
thank God.
it's nothing to be nervous about.
I don't know why.
I'm like, there's nothing to be nervous about.
There's nothing to be nervous about, but you should probably
need to lock your doors. Just kidding. But you need to be watching behind your back at all times. No, I'm totally.
Is that what the crystal said?
No,
oh,
no.
I'm saying crystal. That's not what crystals aren't speaking. Well,
No.
okay. What are those cards called?
So tarot cards.
Okay, there's tarots and then there's fairy cards.
Yep, there's a bunch. There's like I have angel cards. There's like animal totem cards. There's like Native American spirit. There's just all sorts of ones.
All right.
Okay. So first things first, the first thing that they did tell me is, and it's not just like how you are like right now, but they're saying that like you naturally, it's funny because we're talking about meditation. You naturally are like a really like logical, like head based like person. And they're saying that like a lot of your problems or like a lot of your like stresses or a lot of like your uncomfortabilities, they're saying that it comes from like inside your head. So like they're saying like there's not I feel like would you consider yourself like an overthinker?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, because it's like
overthinker is an understatement.
Okay, because like
you had to pause the podcast because I was talking about the cameras. Like, yeah.
But they're like he is an overthinker for sure, and a lot of the time, and like that's fine, that's great to be like an overthinker. But they're saying sometimes your overthinking like limits you from taking action, and so they're saying that like you could have anything like you want, but like you have to make like tangible actions, and you can't like just get stuck in like thought and like idea, especially if your thoughts and ideas are stresses. They're saying like it's one thing like if people like overthink and they're like kind of like in a fantasy or like dreamlike, that's important. That gives people like hope. That gives people like say you're just like, oh, like I just get stuck in thought like thinking about the movies I want to make, or I just get stuck in thought thinking about like having like babies like one day. Like that's like fun because that brings like hope. But they're saying that a lot of the times the thoughts and the over analytical like part of your mind, it's harnessed on like stress. And they're saying that you are stressed right now, and they're saying that like you can get out of stress if you you have to like come up with like a way of like having like positive like expectations and like being able to like let go and like not have control, because like a lot of your fear base is just like not like knowing. Like they're like he has like a lot of like stress, and like it's always like the future and the future. Like, well, if I do this, then this might not happen, and then I won't like get this, and then so I don't know if I should do that. And they're like, it's, I don't want to say miserable, but that is a miserable like way to like live, to constantly just be like worrying like about like the future. And they're saying that like you are very rational, and that's a very good thing. You are very rational, you are very logical, and you are very smart, and that's where your money's going to come from. Your money's going to come from like being like that person, but you have to have like that balance of like, hey, I can, think of all the, things that could go wrong and try to be preventative and like be smart, like when thinking about like, again, like podcast, comedy shows. But you have to have the balance of being like, you need to just be free and like fun and like, go on vacation and go, get back into like comedy stuff, and, not being scared of like cancel culture. Cause that like, they're basically telling me, they're like, you have a lot of like fear and you have a lot of stress, and they're like, he's got to get over that hump.
I don't think your spirits have seen my act. I'm not scared of cancel culture whatsoever. Go ahead.
Well, I was given that as an example.
I was just joking.
Yeah. But like, I think a lot of comics
That's the reason why Rob was laughing.
Yeah.
I've done things in rooms full of women that I should be canceled by now. But I'm not, because I'm a good writer.
Right.
It's the hardest thing. It is the hardest thing to sit through. I just want to let you know. As a very close friend of yours, it hurts.
Right.
Sometimes you got to go for it.
Right.
What are the fairies saying?
So, what the fairies are?
Well, no, we're not done with the tarot, right?
Right. No, I mean, what they're telling me like right now is like they're just saying that like you have a lot of stress and you're an overthinker.
Yes.
And that limits you and from like making like actual like they just said tangible actions. So like you, in order for you to actually like move forward like in the next phase of like your career, or it could be family, it could be love, you got to get past the part of just like thinking of it, you know what I mean? Like you have to actually like take like the steps like forward. I always get nervous because I'm like, I don't want to like get deep, but like I feel like was there like heartbreak? Doesn't have to be like heartbreak, like
every day of my life.
I knew it.
Sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Joke. But like kind of I don't know if you just got past, or you just you're like through like the end of it, of like something that was like emotionally like draining. I don't know if it was like a death in the family, or someone's getting divorced or something, but like they're saying that like there's a little bit of like sadness in you, and they're saying that like it's starting to
hold on. Shut the fuck up, Rob. don't you
I didn't want to say it because
the way
I was
Rob
like,
was looking at me like, yo, Bob, why didn't you call me? Shut the fuck up. But go ahead. I still don't believe, but damn.
I'm
you didn't have any sadness?
Pearls. Yeah, no, I had some sadness.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who I got
Yeah.
So
we ride together, we die together.
Yeah, bro. Who hurt you, man?
No one hurt me.
What happened?
Damn, no one. Nothing.
Oh, I'm really hurt right now.
No. Not like dramatic sadness.
Yeah, but they're saying that like they're saying that like this is like passing. Like this is like we're starting to like come on like the come up, and it's starting to like pass through. But they also are saying like you're a type of person that they're like you are really smart, and like you are a really good decision maker, but they're just keep showing me like the difference of like it's just like clouds like all around your brain. So it's like you're just like it's just, and that's like an overthinker, you know what I mean? That's like someone who's like stuck in thought, where it's like it's almost like paralyzing. And so they just like want you to be like, they want you to have the balance of like you do need to get into meditation, or like some type of like, it doesn't have, you could go for walks in the park, outside in nature. You could take cold showers every morning. You could do you have to do something that's like grounding you, like not in your head.
Yeah.
They're just saying like get out of your head. You're very like much so stuck in your head. And your fairy cards are saying you need to move forward, Jesus Christ, fearlessly. So, I mean, I think that correlates with being stuck in your head of being like,
Okay.
And then your other fairy card said positive expectations, which is, I think that's just not having like fear of the future, whether it's like coronavirus or elections or whatever. Most people like don't realize that they do like live in fear, and it's very natural too because it's stressful. Like, what's going to happen? How is this going to affect me? Am I going to have money, or comedy club's going to open back up? Like, blah, blah. They're saying like, if you spend so much time like harnessing like on that type of like thought pattern, then you're allowing like fear to like prioritize like your life. Because if most of your time is thinking, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? None of that is like, man, I really love my friends, or like, fuck yeah, I love comedy. Like, this is so cool. Or like, dude, like I just made this bomb ass fucking meal. Like, I want to buy, like, we choose like how we like live like our life. And if you just constantly are, operating off fear, then eventually it starts to manifest like through our actual life. That's why people are like doomsday preppers. Just like, dude, hundreds of thousands of dollars just because you're afraid to die. We go to heaven. It's so cool. Who cares?
Bro, I'll go on nature walks with you, dog.
I'm not doing nature walk. I'm not walking with you, period.
Oh,
but
right, cool.
I'm gonna pull two more cards because I'm gonna ask Kazim.
I'm so sorry.
We're gonna
Why
pull.
can't you just let me be supportive, bro?
No, I don't know.
Let me be your friend.
I'm in my head, clearly.
I'm gonna
Jeez.
pull.
There's
Ooh,
clouds,
look at what
but
card
that's
just
so
jumped
true,
out.
though. But that's so
Literally,
It is true. I
it
told you
just
it was
jumped
real.
out again.
Which one is
Happily
that
ever
one?
after.
For both of us?
Yeah, it literally just jumped out. Hold on. So I want to pull another card because I want to. Boom! You saw how it jumped out.
Yeah.
Saw how it jumped out. Okay.
Which one is that?
I've never
one?
seen somebody who's so
I like
horrible
how
at
that one
shuffling
is so
cards.
like bright.
Turn
Right.
that into like a
and
thing,
then
like a
mine-
gift.
And then
Like, yeah, I'm
mine-
bad at shuffling cards, but
So
It's
we
a- it's
have.
magic trick.
No, she's not shuffling. She's
I'm not shuffling.
letting
It's
the
like.
cards jump.
she's jumping.
See.
She's letting
See
the
how it
cards
just jumped?
jump.
Did everybody
Boom.
see that?
Yeah. I didn't
So-
see it. I was looking
who's
at
that for?
This is for him. I'm pulling these because these cards were basically telling me like the state that he's in, and I'm like,
Right now.
what does he need to do to?
What
What
do
does
I
he need to
need to
do
do?
to
Okay.
like
I need
get
to move
out?
forward fearlessly.
You
He's
know?
And
going
I
on
agree.
nature walks with your boy.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Does that say go on nature walks with your boy? Because it should.
Because it should. Okay, let's
I'm not
see
gonna
it.
lie. If the spirits tell you that, I'm still not gonna do it.
Wow.
You have to. You don't have to go on a nature walk with something.
We'll have to go on
Ooh.
But
nature
yeah,
walks.
no.
We
But
should go
I
on,
get
like-
what you're saying. I
yeah.
am in my head constantly.
Yeah.
Right. And I try not. I try to think logically about fear.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's always like, oh,
see
I'm
what
scared of this, and then I
visualization
just try to work through it.
Mhm.
Right.
But it happens more than it should.
Right.
Right. So I get through it easier now by being like, oh, I don't want to do such and such. Oh, what will happen? This
Right.
might happen, but then what will happen? But then this might happen, but then what will happen? I won't die. And then I just go
Yeah.
ahead and I do it.
Right.
But it happens more than it needs to happen.
Right.
Right? So instead of just thinking about it, just go do it. Get these
Right.
clouds.
Bro,
get
let's
these
go to
clouds.
Kauai.
Get these
You wanna go
Well-
to Hawaii? Let's go to
Kauai.
Hawaii.
In Atlanta?
No, fucking Hawaii.
Hawaii.
Oh,
Kauai.
never mind.
I heard both of you, and I was like, okay.
Yeah.
But so
I was
when
thinking Stone Mountain.
when I asked the fairies, I go, what should he do to like get out of this like state? So the
Go to
first
Hawaii.
card that jumped out was visualizations. And visualizations, they're saying is like when you actually when you meditate or when you don't meditate, maybe every night when you go to bed or first thing when you wake up in the morning, do a little exercise in your head where you think about you don't figure out how to do it or how much money you have to do to get to the next
Yeah.
thing. Just literally picture it in your head. So say it's like, I see myself living in a house on Hermosa Beach. Like imagine everything in great detail. Like who's in the house? How is it decorated? How many floors is it?
Bitch.
Hold on.
Yeah. Yeah. What she looks like, what she does for work, or maybe what she doesn't do for work. Maybe she just helps you, whatever. Like what a morning would look like in this house. They're saying like just do something that's like visual that you can see and do that every like morning for yourself, because our brains don't know like if something. So if I were to just like visualize something real fast, like they don't know if like I just saw that or if I just saw it in my mind.
Yeah.
So this is how you start creating a motherfucking reality, is you just visualize it every day. And Oprah visualizes and look where she's at. Okay. So they're saying you got to visualize and then you get happily ever after. Hello.
Yes. Okay.
So you start believing. And then the tarot, they pulled King of Wands. King. Hello. Do you want to be a king or do you want to be a queen? Because you pulled a king. So
hold on. Go ahead.
And a king of wands is someone who is a master of thought and is a master of their mind and is a master of action
as long as they get these
and
clouds
passion.
out.
So like, once you do that, you master your mind, you start initiating ideas and initiating a new lifestyle, and then you fucking live happily ever after, man.
Oh, dope.
Boom.
Listen, I'm not gonna lie, I still don't believe, but that shit. Here's the thing, and I'm not gonna. This sounds so right, because I mean, you believe in spirits. There are spirits in like all three Abrahamic faith. They're called jinns, right? So jinns will speak to you, and they're like unseen. You believe in all that stuff. So who knows?
Right.
I don't know.
Well, I always
Only
think
God
of it
knows,
like this.
Really.
Look
These
at
crystals, I don't believe. But
Bro,
remember, I just talked to you about the atoms.
The energy.
Yeah. You said
the atom
science.
energy that you explained, I believe. But if someone says, "Oh, I need crystals to like at all times without like the atom energy, like putting them in the sun to warm them up and stuff like that," then I don't.
Right.
Then
But those are
can't.
people. Sometimes people just like they just look really fucking cute.
I'm not gonna lie.
They're
Your
fucking
boy's
cute.
thinking about getting this, chopping it up, put it on his neck.
Healingcrystals.com. They sell like all completely like because there's so many like fake bad websites, but healingcrystals.com, it's wholesale. They always have like different sales and stuff. That's where I get all my crystals. That's where I get it. Yeah.
I can't wait to be on top of a girl and have it like dangle in her face.
But you have to get something as big as this though.
I don't know if I wanted to like, I don't want to like bludgeon her, but I wanted to like poke her in her face where she's like, he is
You wanted to
healing.
give her a little bit of discipline so she knows like who's the boss around here.
Yeah.
When we're
Who's
in
the boss?
missionary, it's just like swinging. And then when it's from behind, it's on her back. I don't know why I'm that low, but you get what I'm saying. You should get one too.
Yeah. But yeah, we're gonna wrap up.
No, hold on.
Wait.
It's on her back. How low are you wearing this necklace?
That's why I said I don't know why
That's why
it's
I
so
was
low,
like-
but
Yeah.
it's not a Flavor Flav necklace by any means. But
Well, did you guys have fun at least?
oh my god,
I enjoyed this.
Yeah, did you
No,
have fun?
I'm going to use some of the stuff you told me.
Yeah.
Not the spirits, just you, because
Yeah,
I believe in
just
you.
implement-
we're probably
Yeah.
gonna do this on a weekly basis. Just
Yeah.
let you know. I'm gonna call you.
Oh
We're
no,
gonna have to do these
we
readings.
Monterey, we have to do this again.
Yeah.
I enjoyed this.
Yeah.
Good.
At least once a month to like keep
No, no,
Yeah.
to see what the
We'll
spirits
plug
are.
both your Instagrams and your names and then
You
we'll
can follow me. Oh, I should get people to start following Pinky Ring Don.
Well, you're looking at me like
I'm sorry. I just keep forgetting
Like,
that
I'm-
like that's an alter ego
while
of mine that's taking
while
off
he's
right
doing
now.
that, I'll look into the camera.
Yeah.
Right there. You can follow me at Kazim Comedy. That's KAZEEM. I have a podcast called Tough Choice with Kazim Rahman, and it's wherever you get podcasts. It's really fun. Both of them
It's
have
very
been on
fun,
it,
yeah.
so it's great.
I gotta switch up my voice for this.
Ooh, get nasty on them, daddy.
You can find me at Pinky Ring Don on Twitter. And then you go ahead and slide over to my IG, hop in my DMs, let me know that you see how cute I am on this podcast. Your boy got a nose ring, okay? My face is available for seats for any girl. I don't discriminate. But you can find me at Robbie Smalls. At Robbie _ Smalls. Yeah. That's my Instagram handle.
Yeah.
And we have the podcast come out with your boy Luke Swartz. Two movies in the podcast. It's gonna be hilarious. And yeah.
Hell yeah.
Boom.
Thank you guys both so much for coming. That was the Shamanic.
Yeah.
We'll see
Robbie
you guys
with
next
two
week.
B's.